This is our first one. The Meeting the Beautiful Righteous Humans on Your Righteous Summer Tour 2022. I would usually say the best for last, but we're having the best, at least tied for first for best. Marc and Nancy Sharfman. Where are we, you guys, right now?
Ponce Inlet.
Ponce Inlet, Florida.
Florida.
Yeah, look at this place. It's just really...
This is the Freedom Boat Club at Boondocks.
Yes.
And this is the Intercoastal Waterway, also known as the Halifax River.
Can you talk a little slower, please? Marc and I, how 55 years you figure?
Yes.
Back at Camp Menominee, we were in camp together in the late 60s, 70s, and now we are on Your Righteous Summer Tour 2022. There it is. Marc Sharfman, who is with a C, Nancy is with a Y, Sharfman. And if you want to follow a fascinating couple of Facebook friend request, Marc Sharfman, right? Nancy hasn't even accepted my request yet for some reason.
I just like
But it's just the most incredible, talk about a tour. You're on a tour, you guys. You just look like you're having an amazing experience all the time. What is your philosophy on that, Nance? Why do you guys do what you do and so often and with so much fun, do you think?
For me?
Yeah.
Well, a couple reasons. My parents traveled a lot, and so did Marc's. We didn't want to wait until we were too old because I have a lot of medical problems that I don't really like to go into or share. Marc's working, and so he is helping us do our bucket list right now while we still have the youth and the time to do it.
How much is one of your conditions the fact that you're so gorgeous?
That probably was from a car accident. I was in plastic surgery for a year.
Oh, no, usually that's what people go, yeah, exactly. They say thank you, or what are you talking about? You're crazy.
So much.
One of the
You're
things,
so
Marc,
kind.
who is a doctor by trade, what kind of doctor are you?
I'm a neurologist.
A neurologist. Pointed out to me this morning was that the boys from Camp Menominee seem to have done, generally speaking, quite well, and maybe that camp equips people for those kind of things. And what made you think about that this morning?
I was thinking as we reminisced last night, each person we spoke of had achieved amazing things. Writers, lawyers, doctors, businessmen, and people have risen in government and society and helping people. And I thought...
Marijuana growers, for example.
Yes.
Yes.
And I thought that there must be something to it. We learned a schedule to wake up on time. We learned how to take care of our environment, made our bed each day,
Yep.
cleaned the cabin, prayed regularly, learned how to take care of our food, to camp, provide, to fish. We're going fishing today.
Right.
To shoot a rifle. So many life skills.
That's a really excellent point, and I think there's something to be said for that. The camp that we went to, that Dawn and I eventually purchased, is called Camp Menominee, which is populated to this day primarily by, I would say, pretty secular Jewish kids. I mean, some are more religious than others, but for the Jewish people, I always said when we owned the camp that summer camping is an extension of education. And to the Jews, education is still very much at the top of the priority list. And where'd you go to school, Nance? You said you were a dental hygienist earlier.
Dental hygienist,
Yeah.
yes. I went to school in Orlando, Florida. I grew up, I went to Lake Highland, which used to be a junior college. And in 1970, a bunch of people made it a small private school. And it was, my graduating class was like 47 people.
Where did you finish in your graduating class? Do you remember?
No.
But you were remembering that you were the homecoming queen in your high school.
Yeah.
That wasn't too surprising.
It was
I
really
suppose.
funny because in 6th grade, the whole, from kindergarten through 12th, everybody votes. And it's kind of bizarre, but I was the kind of person who, my mom had always taught me, she had Bell's palsy when I was born, that beauty is not outside but inside.
Totally.
And so she's like, this can all change. And she's like, so make sure that you always are, showing your beauty from inside your heart. And I always tried to, I made wonderful friends. Some of these, just like Camp Menominee, these people become like sisters and brothers.
Yep.
It's like you don't have to have blood to be family.
It's a perfect segue because what we're all about, and I say we, myself, and a lot of friends, and an organization I volunteer for called the Gospel Revolution, is about producing that inner beauty. How do you get what's inside, which is righteousness for everybody, outside? And so that's a long conversation. Talked a lot about it on my podcast and will throughout the summer and fall, so stay logged on for that. And yes, I did t-shirts for the tour. And that's it. I'm still a camp director. It's all about organized fun with a purpose. And the purpose is to remind everybody on the planet that they are perfect and righteous. And I ask all of our guests this question. I'm going to pose this one first to Mark. If you could do one thing, Dr. Sharfman, snap your fingers and change one thing on the terra firma, what would it be?
That's a good question.
That's why I get the big bucks, because I ask the
you.
good questions.
So with me being a doctor, it would be healthcare. We have traveled to every continent, and it's sad, things that we take for granted and we survive. People die on a daily basis from dehydration, no food, no healthcare. I could go get an x-ray, a CAT scan, an MRI, at 50 places that I could drive to within an hour. There's countries that have none of those. So I would make it that we'd spend more dollars on healthcare than dollars on all of these wars that are going on.
Mrs. Sharfman,
it's a hard question.
That's why I get the big bucks, because I ask the hard questions.
Do. I don't know if I could think of one. I think in me, because I'm such an emotional person, I think it would be, the heart. Acceptance, of course, but then that leads to, honesty. People being truthfully honest about themselves and to others. It just that people would show more kindness and love to one another. But I think if they loved themselves and accepted themselves, then they would be able to love others. And I think that's my biggest thing, is people need to put their feet in other people's shoes every once in a while and be humble and have more compassion for their neighbor, a stranger, anybody. Just one kind word. And when it starts in the mind, comes out the words. It's the heart. Eventually you just keep doing it and it will come easier.
That is absolutely phenomenal. That's what this whole effort in my life is about, is to let everybody know that you are righteous. You are righteous. And when you realize that and you meditate that, that deals with a lot of insecurity. And we know that, as you said, Nance, you have a thought that comes out of your mouth from your heart. It deals with insecurity, and then you have more manifested effective behavior in the earth. That's what I think, anyway. We would be remiss, Mark, as we go out fishing here on this beautiful body of water that the Creator had named the Atlantic. He didn't. I don't think God named it. Well, maybe He did.
Created it
through humanity, as He has handed off the baton to us. Anyway, we're going to be on the Atlantic on a boat. That's a very good northern accent when I said boat.
That was.
Yes,
that.
Thank you. And but we would be remiss not to mention a guy that introduced us to the love of the water and camp, and that was your former counselor and my former tennis director, Jim Buzz Wyeth. And so we're thinking about you, Buzz. We know you're here with us, and we love you. We love you people, and you guys. Thanks for having me, and thanks for doing all of this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What are you going to be fishing for today?
Today we hope to catch a redfish.
Mango snapper.
We most certainly will catch snapper
And
catfish, sometimes stingray and shark, and then a puffer fish. These are the ones that blow themselves up to protect themselves. but this is brackish water. It's fresh water and salt water, and
It's called
sometimes
frackish?
Brackish.
B-R-A-C-K.
Oh, brackish.
Brackish. It
And
mixes.
sometimes you are surprised of what comes at the end of your hook. We've caught eels in here. We've caught bass in here. You just never know.
Ladyfish.
Kind of like
we
life.
catch,
You never know. All right, we'll stay logged on for the pictures. Friend
Thank
request
you.
Marc Sharfman, Marc with a C. And
Fancy Nancy.
and Fancy Nancy.
Thank you for
We love
having
you
us.
people.